Is it your turn now to awaken, to be enlightened, to be wise, to be free, to be the truth of you that moves through eternity, aware, knowing how to know, expressing the freedom of your beingness in every interaction with another consciousness, Isn't that the you that you came here to be? I would think so. I would hope so. And I would bless that on every enemy I've ever had. God bless them to that, for sure. If you start a communication like you do a prepared speech, where you gather your thoughts and your reasoning and your rationalization because you're going to be talking to somebody that you already know disagrees with you and is nearly impossible to change. So if that's where your consciousness is, you got to feel what that's like for you. Close your eyes. Feel all that suppression, all that tension, all that pain, all the unconsciousness, and you go, wow, what kind of consciousness can have all of this as its support system? Something that's constantly with them. So, there's a limit to what I can say and what I can do as long as I carry this around with me. But every now and then, I get in session, I get on camera, and I'm able to take a look at it in a new way or in an old way that's an expanded quantum step above my normal consciousness. So I'd like to say that there is a constant that moves through eternity, and that is the truth of who you actually are. Now, when you're looking at an eternal timeline and you have one lifetime on earth as the you that you are right now in this moment, then you can't let that be the you that you are, the human you who's evolved through every teaching of every human that you've met with. Each has left its impression on you and your sense of who you are. So if you let that continue on, if you let your circumstances define you, then you'll be very unconscious and you'll be controlled by others for their purposes without ever knowing what yours was. And that's your purpose here, to find out if in fact whether you had made a pre-life decision to embody and that you had an intention for that embodiment that was the most beautiful thing that you could dream up in a space where you're absolutely free, not suppressed in any way. Your pre-birth consciousness that's aware throughout eternity, past, present, and future, to the degree that is available, is there as you, as your awareness, contributing to your freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of beingness, removing all the limitations that come from thought and ideas and beliefs. So let's begin. You and I. As we look out, we look within at the same time. As I speak to you, I have my sense of self, which is also dramatic. At the same time, I'm in a surrender. So I'm acting as who I am in the moment. At the same time, I'm in the process of surrendering to an eternal beingness that's mastered life, mastered consciousness, mastered reality. So as you surrender to that version of you, while you're acknowledging and feeling and experiencing who you are in the moment, then you get to experience the transformation of the present moment into the you that you could possibly be here if you let it happen. Be the you that you could possibly be here if you'd only let it happen. If you'd only let your past truly be in the past, not affecting you in the present at all, certainly only to give an orientation to you in the moment so that you know how to behave as perfectly as possible in each interaction that you have here. You have the reference point of the life as it's been. At the same time, you've divinely awakened there in that limited self that's stuck in trauma, stuck in wishing things were different. That's where you awaken. The you that wishes for things to change is where and who you awaken as. Okay? So be okay with it. It's you that awakens, not something else, not something that's not you. Everybody refers to their higher selves as not them, right? Everybody refers to God as not them. Everybody refers to freedom as not them. Enlightenment, kidding me? Not them. Wise? No. Compassionate? Not really. Universally life and consciousness supporting? Hardly. Hardly. But the experience of all of that is the pathway to the revelation of the truth that sets you free, the truth of you that moves through eternity, the truth of you that gives place for space to occur in, place for time, place for the universe to move its universally beautiful dance, right? Which includes you playing your part, owning your own divine self-awareness as you're part of the process for the transformational experience that the universe is having right now. It's your turn. It might be, should you look within and ask if it is or not? Go ahead. Is it your turn now to awaken, to be enlightened, to be wise, to be free, to be the truth of you that moves through eternity, aware, knowing how to know, expressing the freedom of your beingness in every interaction with another consciousness, Isn't that the you that you came here to be? I would think so. I would hope so. And I would bless that on every enemy I've ever had. God bless them to that, for sure. Especially my current enemies that can't stand me, that hate me, that, oh my God, would even lie to find a way to hurt me. So, time for you guys to experience the magnificence of your own truth, the magnificent truth that will set you free from where you're stuck, from your disability. I'm not saying that your criticisms of me aren't mostly right. Because as I look at them, I go, yeah, I can see that now, of course. No wonder they would complain about me. No wonder they would judge me. I didn't. I didn't, and maybe never did inspire them. And if inspiration is your truth, and you don't have that effect on anybody, then you're living a lie, right? There's no good reason for that, certainly not anymore. It's not virtuous to live a lie. It's profane. It's sacrilege. It's the denial of what is, so that all you experience is a metaphoric story of a reality that's somehow so much better than the one that you're in, and it'll be goddamn amazing when it finally happens for you. If it doesn't happen now, we have another chance. Go ahead. Let it happen now. Say, okay, then. All right. I'll allow every lie that is part of me to be the fire for transformation, to be the noticing that I'm awakening and self-realizing the truth that truly sets me free. Let yourself experience that, the bonfire of your vanities, right? That beautiful ego that you are. Notice what happens to you, which is you are your ego. Come on, man. It's not separate from you, it is you. Because it's what you've allowed to define and limit yourself into being. It's a contextualized truth, meaning it's a role, it's your play. It's the actor that you chose to play in life, and you chose to play a story about something instead of being the reality of what's possible. A free flow of consciousness, a movement of grace, an embodiment of truth. Isn't that what you're here for? I think it is. What does the truth in you say? Does it say yes? The truth in me is a universal one. The truth of me can experience all sides of reality and thereby move in harmony and synchronicity with life. Isn't that what you're here to be? The harmonization and synchronization and the awakening of a universal consciousness in life, in your body, as your experience of yourself. Isn't that you and your purpose here? Goddamn is. But goddamned you are. You won't get very far if you let that continue. It's not real, it's not you, it's not true. You can just let all of that be fulfilled. All the reasons why you're suppressed and opposed. You can allow all those purposes to be fulfilled in the awakening of you. As you awaken, the limitations that were incumbent based upon your previous conscious aren't necessary anymore. Everything's always in harmony with who you are. But the more that you're the truth of the potential of the freedom of expression that can come through you continuously, as soon as you get in alignment with that, then guess what? You're dancing with reality fully, right? Everything you see sees you. Everywhere you're awake, the reality's awakened, Is that the truth of you? That's my perception of you. How much will you open into that possibility, into that feeling of what that would be for you, into that being moved by the beauty of your awakening, the glory of your being, the divine nature of your essence and presence, the free and full and eternal expression of the beautiful, extraordinary, magnificent fucking you, It's great that you're here. Now what? Now what? Continuous opening, an expanded willingness to experience the experience of being you. As you willingly increase in every way your experience of yourself, then you become profoundly aware of that divine essence of you that moves life into being here. Is your consciousness real and free at the level where life is created? Where freedom is the experience of being you, both objectively and subjectively, we experience you as that, and you experience yourself as that. It's a beautiful thing to do for yourself and for the other person. It's an invitation to mutually awaken, to experience the divine ecstasy of being with someone else divinely aware. Wow, how about that? What about life for you? What about a quantum shift? What about a true, amazing awakening? What about the you that you could have been here? Something so much more beautiful than what you've been. That's what cleans me up from within as I consider it. Who could have I been? And can I still be that now? Is it too late for me to experience my divine nature, my true presence of self, the essence that is beyond human comprehension, same as is yours, same as everyone's? We're not here to argue in limitation. We're here to transform limitation into a free-flowing expression of divine play and celebration. The body's in blissful celebration in an energetic and so compelling way. Everyone is the life of the party. Let the life of the party be you enjoying the divine celebration of life. Right? That's what we're here to do. And why not? Why not? The transformation of now. Now is the new day you've been waiting for right now. This moment, this place, this space. The space of you located within time in this body, in this ridiculous state of awareness and identification. This is where it happens. in the most improbable place, to the most improbable person, without there being any kind of deserving. Yet it happens anyway. The sanctification, the soulful redemption, the divine cosmic release of that which moved you into a state of confusion, unawareness of the truth of self. Everything less than that, every experience of self that doesn't know, that isn't aware, that's confused, and a victim. Not all of that stuff of you, all of that identification, go into surrender to whatever it is that will free it from that. And you become more and more integrated. The more and more that you surrender, the more integrated you become. Mike, don't edit these spaces out. This is to be digested as it's given, not shortened. When you go within and take inventory on your sense of self, sometimes you need to do that in silence while you're not taking anything else in. Take in your experience of self, and you do it as fast as you can, and anything else is unnecessary until you've taken in enough of yourself that you've reached the quantum level of transformation. Most of you have said yes, and the more it occurs, the more of you says yes when it couldn't say so before. Before it begins 100% no way, absolutely not, won't even think about it, won't consider it, won't look and see if it's possible for me, right? No way, no how, not me, not here, and certainly not now. Isn't that what we're dealing with? No, in every way I can say it. Yeah. No to the truth that would set me free. For I'm too small to be an enlightened me. The truth is for others. The divine is not myself. I'm not even qualified to be Santa's elf, but a fool forever. And a knight, never divine. It's sad for me, yet I yearn for the sublime truth for me is the sublime truth for you. For the sublime is who we are when we find the real you. The real you is discovered within the experience of self by surrendering what we are. When it's in any way limited, in any way suppressed, we give that to the truth that sets you free. What is that from being trapped? You don't know. You just give it. Say, truth that would set me free. Here, take this, please. I can't do it. I don't know my divine nature and presence. I only know that I don't know what I am besides a lie in every sense of every level of consciousness of myself. Seems to be held together by a lie. So is there anything about me that isn't a lie? That's not a corruption of truth in every way possible? Well, that seems to be the definition of our limitations. So since we have those limitations, then they must be true contextually. Just because something is contextually true doesn't mean it's an eternal reality of yourself. Just a temporary one. That's why they call it temporal. It comes and goes. You get to experience it for a moment, and then it's gone. But you know it now. You know what it is. To be you is that. But as soon as you know it, as soon as you complete yourself in that experience, then you're done with it. Right? Because there's the next one now. The next better one, where now you're that much freer. And so now you have a new, happier, freer, more noble you, right? One that takes responsibility for appreciating the miracle of their existence, right? Can we do that? Can I experience my experience of self as a miraculous event based upon what all the possibilities were? That I became this human in this moment in time with this opportunity to surrender what I've become by taking complete responsibility for it and saying, okay, this is the truth of me, but I'm done with this now. Help me. Open my mind. Help me realize that truth that sets one free. Is it unique for me, or is it universal for all? It's the universal truth of all within the embodiment of one. One that somehow keeps his individuality, his individual identity, while embodying the truth of universal free expression that creates reality as it is. Just experience both. And within that experience of all that there is to know, or all that is to feel, at least let's say that, an experience of everything that is possible to feel at the same time, which means you're encompassing every point of view of reality. If you encompass and allow to your body to experience every point of view, what happens to a body that's open to every point of view? Let's see. Feel it within yourself. What happens to a body that willingly chooses to open and experience everybody, every being, every consciousness, and saying, can I experience what you are? So that I can know it within the experience of myself, so I can be clear on who you are and who I am. Then you just expand out as that willingness to be that for every other. To be the one willing to say, let's flow freely. Let's embrace it all. And let's know what it is to know someone else experiencing themselves magnificently. Let's open into each of us being willing to experience that in whatever other is saying, okay, I'm willing to be free. And to have that change the fabric of my own experience of myself, my own experience of reality. I'm willing to have the role that I've been playing be completed and ended, and then open into from who and what I am in this moment, being the freedom, being the movement of transformation within the freedom of self-expression that results in a transformational shift of your reality as you. You get to stay you, but all the limitations burn away. You know more and more what it is to be that eternal being within the embodied experience of self. The experience of the eternal you within the temporal self. That's this God consciousness within the temple, right? That they talk about in the Bible if you're Christian. If you're atheist, what do I say to you? You know, all I'm saying to you is I'm talking to you not about beliefs, but as what's happening is I move through lighter and lighter, freer and freer areas of consciousness. And then I'm expressing it within the nature of my own experience of life as David, right? Because David's where I have to awaken from, and so my reference points are my reference points of this life, you know. And then I choose to allow every impression that was ever made on me by someone else or by my own thoughts and beliefs and choices. I allow each one of those events to be awakened in divine consciousness now. So I let every creation and oppositional consciousness and the competitive nature of life, I let all of that go, because that's the animal nature of the contextual truth of you here. And what we want is the merger of that with your eternal nature, with your eternal presence, with your divine knowing of self. You allow those two realities to be somehow congruent and merged. You know, then you allow the experience of yourself to transform as a result of that merger. You keep don't try to define yourself. You keep letting go of who you are in this moment. That's your only job. To not allow who you are in this moment to define you to yourself. You allow yourself to transition out of the truth of you that's in this context. You allow the context to continuously expand, so that the limitation of that contextual truth is in continual flux, continual growth, a greater and greater self-realization. So how do we end this? Let's see, we've been going on for a long time for me, 34 minutes. I think I've said enough. So what's the work that's left, you know, since it hasn't actually transformed us by much, frankly. The homework is to let it transform us completely. So just forget about the rules. Close your eyes and experience yourself. Let just your choice to experience yourself be the fulcrum, the causative shift, the cause of your quantum shift, your wise self-realization, the grace of freedom, free expression, free flow, free consciousness. You just feel yourself and you allow that to change as quickly as you open to allow it to. Because it's the truth of your own eternal nature and awareness and brilliance that transforms the consciousness of the body. You just focus on your experience of yourself and you become more and more and more that open to experiencing the truth of you. And it's that truth of self that sets you free. So in every limitation, you just feel it and say, okay, so this is where I'm stuck. And you let it go. You allow the awakening to occur right there. And in your awakening, in your experience of the truth of the self that sets you free, do you inspire us to open into our own freedom, our own free expression, our own eternal knowing nature. Let's open to that being the truth of self now. It's a lot for me to allow to change, and I'm sure that you'll do well as you allow it to change within yourself. It doesn't matter where you are, it only matters that you're waking up from it, within it. It doesn't matter what your limitations are or why they exist. It only matters that you're waking up enough that there's no reason for them to continue to exist from any point of view. Right? Universal support for your self-realization and divine awakening. Divine awakening, even if you're an atheist, which means that somehow it's exactly what you wanted for yourself. You're not stuck there anymore with your judgment on life and consciousness and the possibilities that exist therein for others, let alone yourself. Somehow in your criticism of the belief systems of others, you've decided that being a little condescending and judgmental of others is somehow evidence of a very wise you. How could it be? How could it be? Be that which causes another that's moving through life in a difficult way to know how they can take their next step in the direction of their own personal freedom because of their experience of you. Whatever it is you believe to be true doesn't matter. It only matters that you awaken further as that you continue to open and expand. And whatever the final eventual truth is doesn't matter so long as you're moving step by step along the pathway of the most amazing self-realization that you ever believed could happen to anybody occurring for you. God bless you to that, man. Even if you're an atheist. Even if you're a religion that's the only one that's right for everyone, and too bad for everyone that's not mine. You can even awaken within that paradigm, and then allow that paradigm to shift to a movement of grace and freedom, and joy, compassion, support of self and others, right? Yeah, right. Right. so funny that you're you, isn't it? I mean, I'm amazed that I'm me and that I get a chance to be free because, oh my goodness, such a weird life, such a weird life, such a, you know, joyless experience of being me. Thank God that's coming to an end, you know. Who's open? Who's open to me? As I begin to create in a new way, in a new place, as an expanded self. Who wants to play in that paradigm? I don't know. But whoever does, that's who I'll be spending my time with. Because shared experience of, observing and experiencing another awaken as the truth of themselves. Oh my God. It's better than any other entertainment you could ever have. Try it. Allow yourself to awaken with the most probable person in your life that would be so excited to observe that in you. And as you feel that support of the other person who truly loves you, who's willing to share an experience of your opening, in your opening, see their divine truth. Expect the words of God are the most enlightened atheist there ever was or will ever be to speak unfiltered truths that transcend the human condition, that inspire you to go, oh my goodness, how great was that? Oh, wow. Could have I been anywhere else and been so pleased with the result? Find people like that. They're the ones that are worth your time. The ones who will celebrate your free expression of an awakened consciousness that is a miraculous blessing to itself and to others, to this entire reality. No destruction, unless you want to call it a destruction of unconsciousness, of unawareness, of limitation, of suppression of self, because somehow everybody was doing it. No more. Not for you. Not for you. If you listen to me this long, you're not allowed to be unsupportive of the best for yourself. No more judging self. No more giving others a responsibility for who you are. It means you're not a victim to anybody else's actions ever. Because you put yourself there. You endorsed the interaction and said, yeah, I'm there with that person. Well, take your medicine, man. You made the choice, not them. They were out fishing for somebody like you and caught you. You saw what they were fishing for and you said, okay. Isn't that stupid? So awaken to your truth within the midst of the immense and unlimited mistakes you've made about how to define yourself here. There's nothing you did that was right, so let it all go. Let all definitions of self dissolve in the light of some sort of beautiful eternal truth that's also you. So allow yourself to awaken to everything that you experience in your embodiment. There's no reason for you not to open continuously as the truth of yourself. You take whatever amount of time that you need as you dive into the depths of the solidity of your creation. As you open into knowing the truth of yourself experientially. And you have to open within those limitations that you've allowed to define yourself. So it's a continuous opening where you're right on the edge of creation, right on the edge of destruction. You're right in that transformational period between creation and destruction, which means the pathway of freedom is moving as you in your life. And you're going to experience what it is to move freely here. You can see more of me now than you want to. Me too, man. Man, if I had to look at myself in the mirror every day with how I've given up on myself, ooh, what a torture, right? Yeah, there's a lot of people that can't put up with somebody that doesn't know how to take care of themselves, right? So much solidity there for me. But I don't have to investigate it intellectually. I just have to be willingness to experience it intimately. Yeah, this is how I've created my body. All of this limitation, all of this unconsciousness, all of this pain of what it is to be me. Now, I immerse myself as intimately and deeply as I can with it, but that doesn't mean I hold on to it. It only means that I try to capture it. And in trying to capture it, it's somehow freed, right? As you try to take yourself all in, so you're not holding yourself back from anything. You're embracing everything that you are. No longer condemning yourself for what you did that didn't result in the perfect you. You're accepting yourself as you are and saying, you're God, you're divine, you're cosmic consciousness. Explore me. I'm open. And as you allow cosmic consciousness, for my atheist friends, the most aware, the most brilliant that has ever been, is it possible that you could open into an embrace of that would allow you to know exactly what that is through your experience of yourself? And why not? Why not try? Because you might fail. Would you forever condemn yourself to never knowing your truth? Because you were once not your truth, so now you'll never be your truth? Is that your logic and reasoning? I think I can find a hole in that and allow freedom to move through that hole. Find a way to be freely expressed through you, as you, for yourself, for me, for everyone else. As I feel the universe opening, expressing that level of consciousness, it's wow. We got a lot of fun ahead of us, I think. Because we can experience it here and now. So what possibilities does that give us for tomorrow? If we can notice the divine within ourselves today. How are we doing on time? Well, we're almost up to an hour, so if I were going to be respectful of you, I would probably try and wrap this up so you're not listening for forever. So what do we get out of this that benefits us tomorrow? What's in it for you? How does that contextual truth of you move through reality in such a way that it's not the same anymore? It's something better, something infinitely better, something that people say, wow, nice. I can see the divine in you and feel the divine in me as I observe you open and awake. That's the reality you want to share with others. That's the reality that you want to be. That's the truth that sets you free. The you that you came here to be. The truth of eternity within the truth of self. The universal nature of reality within the experiential understanding of you. God bless you to that. God bless me too. Thank you for being you, and thank you for allowing me to say this. Because otherwise, I wouldn't have this experience for myself. And I did. And I'm grateful. Simply because I put it on tape in case somebody else that's not with me tonight could choose to open as a result of me choosing to open for myself and for them too. So, know that you're what you choose to be. You've chosen to be limited. And you don't want to do that anymore. And it's okay, you don't have to. You don't have to. When you're ready to say yes to freedom, the pathway will be right in front of you. Because your pathway is the experience of yourself without resisting it. And as you experience yourself without resisting it, then the eternal begins to come through and flow freely. And then self realizes you. Because you let it happen. Because you opened and said, whatever the truth is, I'm okay with it. I don't want to choose any lie over what the truth actually is. Not for any reason. Wow. So, to whatever degree that transforms me, you'll let it transform you too, as you choose for that for yourself. You don't have to hold on to the thoughts and the ideas and try to define the experience yourself. No, you just keep letting go. Doesn't matter what realization you had 5 minutes ago. What you're experiencing right now is what's important. And as you experience it, you allow it to transform and for you to awaken freely within it. And as you experience it and it experiences you, it dissolves away because becoming more and more truly you is a transformational experience of physicality, of the matrix of you. That's what it means to have the truth set you free. The you that's contained is a bit of confusion, stuck in a lie. That's the you that opens and self-realizes. That's why the ego never really dies. It's forever opening as an expanded truth of you. And enjoying that experience and those benefits. It's a beautiful thing for an ego to allow itself to become free. Free from limiting itself. Well, I think I'm going to start a 10-day master cleanse. My friends in awakening, Dr. Sarah and her husband is Michael, is it? I'm not sure now. Dr. Sarah. Nice to see you. Nice to know that somebody's willing to know, willing to open, willing to be free, willing to experience the heights of consciousness while in the depths of density. To awaken is within the darkest nature of yourself. Begins the true divine dance of life. And what is absolutely necessary for the full free universal expression within the experience of one who is divinely self-realized. So the nature of truth is the reality of you. That's what you're looking for, is that wow. Oh, wow. That's how fast you want to transform. Oh, wow. 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 Let your transformation be a continuous wow instead of a continuous pain in your ass. Yeah, you get it all. You're not leaving anything out. And you don't need to. Not if the nature of what sets you free is going to become the reality of you. If it can be the reality of you, then let it happen. Just let it happen. And if it's real and true, then it'll be you. If you don't say no. So say yes to experiencing the full and total transformation of self by that which is true. To that which is a blessing to its own nature. Right? You're not surrendering to an angry God, a jealous God, a mercenary kind of God that sees who and what you are and expects you to behave other than what your consciousness compels you to be. If a divine being wants to experience you different than what you are, then it'll be more present in your life and you'll wake up, as much as necessary in order to commune. So is there a divine consciousness in your experience of others in life that's willing to commune with you? Open up and look for it, see if it's there. And allow yourself to open up enough so that the universe of reality knows that there's an opening here, and that opening is you and your willingness to receive that gift of universal presence and divine nature and freedom of consciousness and the embodiment of the truth of yourself. Be the one that lets it happen for themselves. And if you still have deep, dark limitations, it's okay. If they show up, then that's what you're embracing, whatever they are. Whatever you're awakening into, that's what you awaken into. It doesn't matter what it is. Only that you're opening there and continuing to open. Continuing to experience more and more and more of yourself. Wow. You know the line between fantasy and reality, right? Is that where we are? Or are we somewhere else? You always allow the experience of you in the moment to be real, because it is. And in whatever way it's limiting you in less than divinely consciousness or cosmically aware, then you let yourself surrender there. In every space where it's painful for you to be because it's so limited. It's so not the free expression of you as yourself, as your original nature, as what you came here to be. So I guess to wrap it up, how do I wrap it up? I don't know. There's no wrapping it up, because there's never, ever a completion. It's just a continual expression of more and more beauty, flowing freely and gracefully through you. All you do is let it. Let it flow from your pain and your sorrow and your darkness and your limitations. Allow freedom to flow from your limitations. Allow your freedom to be that example of a consciousness that has found itself loves that experience. It's here and now that you awaken. It's here and now that you find yourself free. It's here and now that you take responsibility for who and what you are. And it's here and now that you're awakening within that painful expression of you that ends that experience as being painful. So I could continue on, I guess, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside and take a walk. I'm going to walk in this experience into my experience of self, of being me. So it does require some movement. I have to since there's limitations of myself in every possible position of my body, then I have to allow my body to move through those, move to those limitations. And then I wake up in each one of them. And then allow my body to open more, wherever it wants to. You allow your body to choose its pathway to freedom. Let your body be in charge. Your body knows. It's in your mind where you're confused. Allow the body to choose for its transformation instead of you. I'm going to try that myself right now. I'm going to let my body choose to be free. Choose its level of strength, of flexibility, the structure, the composition, the health, the vibrance. My body gets to choose to be free of me, of my thoughts, free of my beliefs, free of my attitudes, free of my limitations. My body is now free. The boss of me. My consciousness surrenders to my body. Isn't that a weird thing to say? I don't think I've ever said it before. But isn't it a nice experience? Isn't it nice to know that your body knows how to open to truth? And in your search on trying to find the way, you took responsibility where it wasn't your job. It's your body consciousness that gets to choose freedom. Allow your body to choose to free you. Instead of you trying to find out how to fix the problems of your body, allow your body to fix the problems of you. to be an interesting experience for myself, I think. I allow my body to fix, to harmonize, to synchronize, to have a synchronicity. To be the cause of awakening. Allowing the body to choose, well, it's a cheat. Your consciousness doesn't have to figure it out. Let your body choose. If the body chooses freedom, then you let that happen. You don't resist it. You could go down deep into your willingness to experience your body's movement into freedom for itself. But dive into that experience. It's nice. It's nice when the consciousness gives the body permission to be free, permission to be extraordinary, permission to cleanse itself. Give your body permission to cleanse itself of everything that troubles it. Now, with each new awakening, with each new level of consciousness, that changes. So, it might seemingly start off in a destructive place, but no, it doesn't. You're limited until you're worthy, and you're only worthy in your surrender. Whatever it is you surrender to doesn't matter, just so long as it allows you to be inspirational to the rest of us making better choices for ourselves by our own experience of being us. Okay. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed yourself. And more than enjoyment of yourself based upon whatever it is that you think or perceive or judge me to be. I'm looking and waiting to feel that yes of your body, to feel that willingness to surrender by your own mind. Your willingness to open into and experience and understand the free flow. Then know what it is to embody the truth in you. The truth that sets one free, that sets one's enemies free, that sets one's friends free, that sets your lovers free. Why wouldn't it do that? Allow the pathway to freedom to be the greatest virus ever created. The continuous opening and self-realization for each one of us, for the all, for the individual, for the group, for friends, for enemies. So now is where you just kind of sit and watch for yourself, the transformation of yourself, allowing your body to choose for its freedom, and allowing your mind to notice the divine in you. Now I would suggest that that's how you can be the best that you can be here. knowing the own truth of yourself. That's it. Know your own truth of self. Know what it is to be free. Know what it is to awaken as you. And give yes to all the parts that are broken and unconscious, to choose their freedom, to choose their awakening, to choose their presence, to begin to radiate a divine awakening. A divine awakening is you, a radiance. Allow the radiance of you experience the radiance of itself. Allow your body to choose to experience itself as a radiance of awareness, of freedom, of knowing, of understanding, of having compassion for, as being the inspiration that moves others to choose better for themselves. Be that for you. And let yourself be free. You don't have to be mean to be the winner. All you have to do is stop demeaning yourself with your thoughts and ideas and beliefs, those weird attitudes and judgments. Let all of that low-level truth transcend into the greater truth, So I'm going to cut this off here, or I'll just keep rambling on and incessantly. And it's time for me to, take a walk and move this consciousness into my experience of my body in motion. I suggest you do the same. Hope somebody watched this all the way through, and if they did, my ego thanks you. Thank you. It's nice to see one who opens into the experience of the truth of themselves and just keeps doing it more and more, deeper and deeper, higher and higher. Good for you. For me, it's a good night. The moment of your free and full expression. Thank you.